What would you guys like to guest star on any show that's open to?
Entourage. Best girls in the world. No. Gosh, I'm trying to think what would really fit me like a glove. You know, I think if we could go back a couple of seasons, I'd give an arm or a leg to a bet on Deadwood.
Yeah, Deadwood would have been great. Mad Men, I think, is a really great show right now. I like period piece kind of things. Yeah.
Deadwood Mad Men. Suits and buckskin.
I was going with Joel wants to smoke cigarettes and you want to cuss like a sailor. I was thinking that Joel wanted to just wear a suit and look nice, and Robert, you wanted to cuss like a sailor.
Yeah.
I want to stay clean. I'm actually guesting on a show right now. I'm recurring on a show called The Playboy Club. It's a little separation from the priest. It's good to be an actor, you know?
Christina Ricci in that?
No, she's in.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alpha.
She's in Pan Am. Amber Heard. Thank you very much. Yeah, Eddie Silverberg.
Amber.
Yeah, it's a good cast. It's actually a good show. There's a lot of bunnies.
No question.
Robert, you should be on that show.
No question. Oh, right here? I'll tell you guys a quick story. It's true about, because he's been divulging from the never-to-be-seen third season. The second complete season of our league, the first league, we were going to do a kind of crossover. We were going to take the character of the Star Child, played by Jennifer Cook, who has a very similar character to the newbie, the daughter of Anna. And she was going to go over to the dark side. And then Jane Badler's friend, I'm trying to think of that character's name, the blonde actress from the original league, she would come over to the resistance side. And that was their way of sort of truncating exposition. That way we could get a lot of information from her, and the Star Child would also give up a lot of and betray the resistance, which I thought was very interesting and was kind of looking forward to that. And again, it's true, we were going to get much more, I don't want to say violent, but nasty in our third season, and it never happened.
Hi. First, I want to thank you both for being here. Thank you very much. My question is for Joel. Joel, what's it like to be William Shatner's son-in-law?
It doesn't suck. No, he's I've never met anyone like him ever in my life. He has more energy, more zest for life. There's such a beautiful aspect. We were having breakfast this morning, actually, and I was actually admiring. We were talking about this. You know, he appreciates he'll go, oh, this is the best bagel I've ever, this bagel is, Joel, try this bagel. This bagel is just, you know, and it's such a beautiful way of living life, you know? And God, you know, he's taking helicopter lessons right now. He's flying a helicopter. He knows how to fly a plane. He was 3, 7, 4, 5 years ago, he would do one of those with the parasailing. I mean, Bill's not in his 30s anymore, you know, and it's very impressive. You know, he's wonderful, and the greatest compliment I'll give him is, yeah, he's an extraordinary grandfather to my kids. And that is forever be grateful for that.
When I was in college, there was a must-see movie, and you know, because of his great iconic fame, people overlook early work except for genre stuff, like, his great famous episode of Twilight Zone and stuff, but one of the must-see movies when I was in college that we watched over and over again was with Paul Newman, Claire Bloom, and William Shatner and Rod Steiger, and it was this great westernized version of the Japanese Kurosawa film, Rashomon, and I'm forgetting the title now. It might be The Outlaw, but it's a great film, and if you guys ever see it in TV Guide, it's wonderful because it's a rape by a gang told through every single participant's perspective, point of view. It's this great, great, terrific movie, and he's wonderful in it. He's just wonderful in it. It's the kilt. That's what slows him down.
Actually, for both of you, but for you personally, Robert, I enjoyed Billy a lot more than I did Fred Krueger. But
Pussy.
which do you prefer playing? And if you ever had a chance to do it again, what would you rather play, a good guy or a bad guy?
Well, this guy's such a kid. It hasn't happened to him a lot yet, but we all get typed for a while. And I was typed as a Southerner. In the early 70s to the late 70s, I starred in 4 movies. I worked with people like Henry Fonda. I had a nude scene with Susan Sarandon. I starred with Jan Michael Vincent. I starred with Jeff Bridges. I starred with Sally Field in films that were Southern-based. I beat people like Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey back in his prime, and Michael Sachs, the star of Slaughterhouse-Five, right? Kurt Vonnegut, out for roles playing Southerners, and these were huge, huge roles for me. But then I got a little bit older, and then I went immediately into Southern heavies after being the best friend, the star, the nice guy, whatever. And so that, I remember that because I was so young, that I kind of had to break out of that. And then I moved into sidekicking for young stars. I always played them because I kind of remembered the classic movies of the 30s and 40s, and with the Walter Brennan, sort of a young version of the sidekick for a while. But then that got a little weird, especially as I moved into television, because television wasn't written as well back then. You'd show up to play a bad guy on a Police Story or one of those shows, and they'd stick a stocking cap on you. That was their idea of a character, And you kind of really had to try to flesh it out. And I was like paying my dues with great young actors. That would be me and Jeff Goldblum running around terrorizing Charles Bronson, things like that. But I've been typecast 3 or 4 times. And so it's not about good guys or bad guys, but I will tell you something. Bad guys are written a little better. I've had to hit my marks, and I'm sure Joel has too. I'm trying to think, but with guys that are playing the hero, Noah Wiley, for instance, in Falling Skies, the guy that has to play the hero, and they get a lot of tough dialogue they have to bark out. And you've got to be strong-jawed and heroic. You've got to say a lot of it. You take Jane, I'll take up the plane. They have to do those kind of lines a lot. It's hard. It's hard work doing that stuff. So the bad guys seem to be a little more three-dimensional. You can kind of figure out what their envy is and what their agenda is a little quicker than when you're playing good guys. Although I would love to do more comedy. I did almost exclusively comedy in the theater for 6 or 7 years, and I had quite a good reputation for physical comedy, and I can't get arrested doing comedy anymore. I'll tell you who else, unbelievably funny, and hasn't been rewarded for his comedy skills, is Mark Hamill. He's one of the funniest, genuinely funny people in the world. He does that great kind of mean funny, kind of a complaining mean funny, kind of a Jack Lemmon mean funny, and sooner or later, Mark, I'm sure he's done it on stage. I think he did Amadeus on the stage on the national tour, but sooner or later, that'll happen, and people go, oh, he's so versatile. Well, actually, that was my real talent. It's much harder for me to butch it up, and do fight scenes with guys that are, a head taller than me.